Health, and today we are talking about being at war with your body. So, there is this factor that I run into with so many individuals who either have like chronic pain conditions. I see it a lot with autoimmune. Also, I'm running into just people with chronic illness, just as a general, and those who were especially like had a lot of health issues as a child. I see this a lot of where there's almost this physiological like disconnect between the individual and their body. And people have, people who struggled with weight, people who struggle with obviously there's, the body dysmorphias and all of those things all of these different things factor into what we're talking about here of this disconnect, being at war with your own body. So while I work with a lot of different individuals, and especially I love working with very, very busy people who have incredible lives and who need to be healthy so that they can keep doing all the things. I love working with my moms who are just crushing it, and they're doing so much not just for their families but their communities. And then I've got, these executives who are not only, running, these sections of the company, they're on boards and they're doing charity work, and it's just incredible. But all of that takes a toll on us, all of that drains our system. And what a lot of these individuals, they just want to know, what do I need to do? How do I need to feel? How do I keep going? So I have that extra measure, that extra gear at the end of the day. So I can have that extra 2, 3, 4 hours every single evening where I still feel awesome and productive and mentally focused, and I'm not exhausted. That's a lot of the work we do. But I'm going to tell you, there is also a lot of the category we call medical mysteries. Something's wrong. Nobody can figure it out. And we do a ton of that work as well. I will say it's probably one of my more favorite genres of things that and here's why, is because I really, really enjoy whenever somebody has seen all the doctors, has had all the tests done, they've done all of the things, and then they come, because what's beautiful is most of the heavy lifting has already been done. We already know what it's not. And so all of those doctors, all of those tests, all of that has just narrowed down and made my job so much easier because we know what it's not. Now we just have to figure out what it is. So that's been an incredible part. And I've truly, truly enjoyed doing that particular work. So especially when we're dealing with these medical mysteries, these individuals who just don't get better, this is especially where I run into them being at war with their own bodies. And again, this is really, really common with chronic pain or autoimmunes, which a lot of autoimmunes are very painful. So we see this. So here is the biggest factor. There is like a disconnect that's happening in these individuals. So from a neurological standpoint, like your brain needs to be connected. It needs to know where every other part of your body is. Otherwise, it can't protect it. So, like for instance, somebody who has no neurological connection to their hand, for instance, if somebody is completely paralyzed in that particular arm and they can't feel it, well, the brain can't protect it. Like if they put that hand on a hot stove, there's no connection to pull it away. The brain can't connect that because of the nerves, the pathways are not there. Now we see this a lot, the same kind of idea, right after surgeries. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we see this kind of thing right after surgeries where, because no matter how great your surgeon is, I mean, they can be amazing. When they go in and they start cutting on things, they're gonna cut some of these little nerve endings. They're really, really fine. I mean, it's almost impossible not to do, and that's why people get so numb wherever they've had that particular surgery. So one of the biggest things that we see is that there needs to be reestablish that neurological connection after it's been lost, and it's really that basic of a premise. Okay, so that's on the big side of not being connected to your body, where literally the area has been cut, and that's why you can't connect. But what happens is over time with trauma and damage and all of this, people lose the ability to connect even to some of like just their visceral. people lose the ability to be able to differentiate if they're thirsty or not. I know that seems really bizarre. We have no idea how many individuals are eating as a result. They're dehydrated. They need water, but they're so disconnected that they're getting hunger signals. Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, and that's just one example. I could go into a whole, there are a lot of individuals who so lost the connection to their stomachs, to their gut, that they don't even register that they're full. They just keep eating. And and of course then they have overweight issues. I hope you all are following me on all this. There are so many different ways that individuals can lose this connection. And then what happens is they start to just distrust, like, I don't heal, I don't get better. Nothing I do makes any difference. And that's where they become, and they just start to literally just be at war with their bodies. And that is why so many individuals are just not getting results. It's because, if you're the internal conflict in itself is creating more damage. So all of the individuals who now, like, whenever I'm talking about those who really have lost, like, truly, they're not feeling hunger signals the way they used to, they can't tell when they're full. Again, they're not noticing whenever they are dehydrated and not. I mean, all of those different things. First and foremost, it's just understanding, and there's a basic concept of understanding my body is always healing. Your body is always healing. If you're alive, your body is working to heal. And you do need to trust that innate intelligence within our own bodies. Right. So here's an example. If you get a cut on your arm, if you get a cut, you don't have to do a thing. Immediately, your body's going to send clotting mechanisms. Pretty soon, the bleeding is going to stop within a very short period of time. You're going to see a scab go over. The body heals itself. So if the body can heal that cut on your arm with the right nutrients or the right resources or removing the wrong things, your body can heal just about anything. Just about anything. It can heal your autoimmune. Yes, it can. Can it heal your chronic? So it can heal just, there we go. Your body can heal just about anything with the right nutrients, with the right resources, or removing the wrong factors. It's incredible what the body can do. You just have to give it enough of what it needs and a little bit of time. Now, to reconnect. So that's like just a basic premise overall. Okay, I can trust, I can believe that. Now, how do we actually create a reconnection? Well, there's a lot of different ways, and one of them is like present time consciousness. Just coming into and stop everything in the past, all the things that you have to, just getting into present time consciousness and reconnecting to the body. There's a lot of like different somatic work and different things. There's all kinds of wonderful stretches and exercises and all of that can do, but without present time consciousness, it doesn't, you don't get the same benefit. You don't get the fullness of the benefit of what it can do to help the neurological connections to optimize healing. So there's a couple present time consciousness. My two favorite. My number one is breath work, especially box breathing. 4 counts in, hold 4 counts, 4 counts out, hold 4 counts. You do it a couple times. That brings you into a present. It really reduces fight or flight. And then there's another one that I learned recently that I thought was really, really good for whenever you're kind of in a spiral and things are just, you're just spiraling and you need to, to ground again. And it's called the 5 4 3 2 1. So you stop and you think of 5 things that you can see right now in this moment. So you go through your count. I can see this window, I can see my camera, I can see the pod, the stand holding up my camera. I can see 5 things. And then number 4 things that you can feel. I can feel my desk right here. I can feel, like, the softness of my sweater. Name out 4 things that you can heal, 3 things that you can hear, things that you can hear right now, 2 things that you can smell. That's a pretty good one. 2 things that you can smell, because you have to focus trying to find 2 different smells, and then one thing that you can taste. And by the time you've gone through that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 process, it is amazing how it just takes the war and it grounds you. So I've been really, really impressed with that particular technique along with breath work. So I want to get into a few of the questions that were sent in before, and then obviously, if anybody else on here has any questions, please do put them in the chat. That's what I'm here. I'm here to help you and here to address. So, and hello to all of you. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun working through and starting to do lives. So the one of the questions I got before we got started was, so why do I keep improving for a little while and then I relapse back into whatever issues? And there's a lot of reasons why this is happening, but especially in that context of being at war, whenever when you're not even alert to what the body is trying to tell you, the body is going to send you signals of what it needs. But if you aren't connected to the signals, you're not getting the messages. So yeah, even if you do start the supplement, even if you do start the program, even if you do go on the detox, even if you do the work, if you're not getting those signals or you're not catching on to what those signals are telling you, yeah, you're not gonna sustain that. You're not gonna get better. You're not gonna sustain the healing. So that's one of the big things that when I'm working with people is helping them to one, reconnect, understand where they're going, and then learning to trust their bodies again. Um, so here's another question that I got before we got started. How can my stress levels actually keep treatments, the treatments I'm doing from working? And you know what? Sadly, you'd be surprised. Yes. It is amazing how much stress can hurt your ability to heal. And yes, I mean, if especially, okay, back into this context again, if you cannot connect, if you're not getting the signals, if you're not understanding what the signals are, you're so disconnected. You can't be your own advocate as you're going through any treatment process. And let me just say this, whenever most treatment protocols, no matter what, the body's healing time is about 90 days, right? Whether you think that's short or long, either way, it's about 90 days. So here is what's really fascinating is that if you can't see through the healing process for the amount of time that it takes, you're not going to get better. And so that is one of the big factors that we're looking at. So yes, absolutely, this stress, this disconnect can 100% keep you from even really great treatments that work for everybody else. They may not work if you don't reestablish this connection. One of the questions was, how can I do this all really, really fast? Like, how can I like, and I love this question. So I need to be better. I need to better now. How do I fix this all really, really quick? And the answer to that is back to present time consciousness. Start with breath work. Calm your nervous system. Again, reconnect to the neurological signals that your body is trying to send. But here's one of the next question is, how do I know if I'm doing the right things? How do I even know if I'm moving the needle? And this is probably the most important. So one of the things that we do when we go through the blood work is it's a comprehensive, it's not just like one data point. So we have this comprehensive lab. So I can show you where you are crushing it, where you're nailing it, where you're doing everything just right, and show you in the data points, like, okay, yeah, maybe this area over here with your digestion is a disaster, but see what you've done with regards to your hormones, see how great that is, see how you've made those changes and what's happened. So when you do that, it reestablishes a certain amount of like trust in yourself, trust in your body, trust that if I do something, there are changes. It's not like I'm constantly fighting all the time. And when you learn, like, okay, now I know, like, the way I was able to handle that, the way I was able to handle that versus the way I was able to handle this. Yeah, I mean, it it reestablishes a trust factor that okay, I can do this. So um, that's it. So I love the blood work. I love using the blood work so that you know it's working. And then sometimes too, even if you feel like maybe I don't know if I'm getting better, I can't tell. Again, that happens a lot. Like for instance, like liver. What are the symptoms that you have whenever your liver is not working? there are none. So you can be radically improving your liver function and have no real way to know unless you look at the data points, unless you look at the blood work to understand that. So that's one of the big factors that I look at whenever to give you that trust factor to give that. And for those of you who maybe this is resonating, maybe you struggle with chronic pain, autoimmunes, all of that, I'm just going to encourage you that there's more hope out there than you can even realize. I was in a seminar all this past weekend and really talking a lot about what is happening in the world of autoimmune and the research that is coming out and just understanding how much we did not know about all of this and it is incredibly anybody it's incredibly optimistic what is happening in that world. So either way, I'm going to encourage you, if that's something that you struggle with, to please don't lose hope. Reach out to different, yeah, practitioners and doctors and who are doing the work. There's a lot out there. There's so much. So I hope this helped. Please do, if there's something that I can help you with, feel free to reach out, go to my website, or you can definitely subscribe so that you can get the rest of this. I'm doing this 90 days of just really community of health, changing how we look at all of the different things with regards to our health. So we have a wonderful holiday season and coming into the new year. And thank you all for the wonderful, very, very sweet comments. I truly appreciate it. God bless.